back to another video. Today, as you probably saw by the title, we are going to be trying some new horses that I hopefully can find some new additions to my barn. I do have one quick thing to show you, but if you want to get to the video, I will leave a timestamp on the screen so you don't have to see it. Okay, this is my cute little tree I built. It may look a little wonky, and if you think that, I do apologize. I have never built a tree before. But this tree is just my little tree of love. I don't really have a name for it, so for now it could just be the tree of love. Because I appreciate you guys' support so very much, I thought I would add this little tree just to help show it. As you can see, my first little friend that I've added here is equestrian_gamer. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. They like and comment on all of my videos, and they always comment something encouraging that always makes my day. So thank you so very much for that. I really do appreciate it, and it makes my day. If you want to be on my little cute tree of love, I guess that's what I'm going to call it for now, then subscribe or just comment something nice, and I'll hopefully add you up here too, and you can join the family. Anyways, I really do appreciate you guys' support, even if you don't subscribe or comment or like, even by just watching the videos, like, I really appreciate it so very much. I never thought that I would get, I think we're at 35 subscribers, and I know that that isn't a lot compared to a lot of people, but I appreciate it so much. And I just want to thank you guys all for supporting me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, now let's get into the video. Okay, before we go see the new horses that I'm going to try, I'm going to give you a little bit of an inside scoop as to what I'm looking for. I'm going to be trying 5 new horses today, and I'm looking for a potential new jumping horse. I don't have very many qualifications for them, but I would like one that's a little bit bigger, as my main jumping horse, Splash, is on the smaller side. I'd also like them to be mostly broke. They don't have to be, jumping yet, but as long as they're just green broke, that's fine for me, as I don't really have the time to break them in myself. I'd like them to be at least 5 years old. I do prefer horses that are on the older side just so that they're a little bit more mature. I also don't really have a preference if it's a mare or gelding, but I'd like them to have a nice temperament in case I want to put lesson kids on them eventually. Okay, let's go see the first horse. Okay everyone, I'm on my way to the horse market right now. I'm so excited to try these horses today. All the horses are at the same place, at the public horse market. However, they are all being sold by different owners, but it is very convenient for me that they are all there so I don't have to travel around. The first horse I'm going to be trying today is Cookie, which I think that is an absolutely adorable name. She's 15 too, 6 years old, and a paint quarter horse cross. She seems like a pretty good option. I am willing to go a little bit bigger in height, but that is something I'm willing to overlook if she is, a good match. I do love paint horses and quarter horses, so that is very good. The one thing that I don't understand, though, in her ad is the fact that it says that she's green broke, but also good with kids. Those two things, in my experience at least, don't often go together. So that's the one part that I'm a little confused about, but I guess we'll see how it goes. I did get a little bit lost while I was trying to find her. She was like behind this shed area, but it's okay, we got there in the end. She seemed quite friendly and she had an absolutely gorgeous coat. She also had a very great build, which is something that I do look for. Her owners were not there that day, which wasn't really helpful as I was trying their horse, so I was a little confused by that and I wasn't able to ask them any questions about her. Because they weren't there, I went ahead and started tacking her up, as this was arranged with them and they knew that I was here to ride her. She was a little fidgety while I was tacking her up, and she looked a little uncomfortable. It wasn't anything mean or anything, she didn't try to kick or bite me, but she was just a little bit fidgety. That is something that we could obviously work on and fix in the future though. I walked her over to the little arena that they had and went ahead and hopped on. None of the horses that I'm going to be trying today have any jump training. However, an employee did let me set out 2 ground poles just to see how they react to them. One thing that I liked about Cookie is that she has a very steady walk. This can come in handy when teaching little kids to ride. I went ahead and asked for a little trot. She felt very strong and very forward in it, which is something that is very good for a jumper, but she was just a tad bit too strong and wasn't listening to my aids that well. Her trot was a bit bouncy, but it was alright. I trotted her around on both reins for a little bit. I tried some circles and leg yields to see how she would react. And then when I felt comfortable, I asked her for a little canter. She picked up the canter right away, and again she felt very strong and was not listening to my hands. I only cantered her for a short amount of time as I felt like I had very little control. At the end, I decided to trot her over the poles to see how she would react. She trotted over them very nicely and picked up her feet and didn't even knock one. I tried it again, and she also did that one beautifully. Okay, I just finished my ride with Cookie. Overall, I think that she has potential to make a very, very great jumper. She is forward and willing to try new things. The only things that I didn't quite like about her is that she was very strong and I felt like I had little control overall. She was running through my hands and not listening to any of my aids. This can, however, be fixed with some time, and I think that getting a stronger bit would be beneficial for her. However, bits don't fix everything, and this is obviously a training issue that does need some help. Unfortunately, her owners aren't here, so I'm unable to ask them any questions. But overall, Cookie is a great option for a jumper, and we'll see how the other ones turn out. The next horse I'm going to be trying is named Riptide. When I saw his ad, I got quite excited, as he does seem to fit what I'm looking for. He has 16 hands and is 6 years old. He is a gelding and a knapstrapper cross. I've never ridden a knapstrapper before, but I am willing to try as they are a very, very beautiful breed. His ad says that he is just coming back into work, so I'm not going to be expecting too much from him, but I am still going to ride him and see what he has. I found him tied up with a few other horses that I'm assuming are also going to be ridden that day. As I tacked him up, I noticed that he was a little bit uncomfortable and kept shifting his weight around. He was a bit nippy and kept pinning his ears back when I was doing the girth. This, however, is obviously another thing that can be fixed just with time, and I am a new person that he's never seen before, so that obviously is probably part of it too. I went ahead and walked him over to the arena, and then hopped on to start schooling him. He did stand very nicely and waited for me to get on though, which is definitely another thing that I do look for when trying horses. As I was walking him around the arena, his ears were perked forward and he seemed very eager to see what we were doing today. After walking him around for a little bit, I asked him for a little trot. He sprang up into it right away. He had very nice movement in the trot and it was also very forward. I practiced some half halts and different transitions with him to see how he would react. He was solid through all of them, and that was a very good sign for me. There, I asked him to trot, and I think I used a little bit too much leg and was holding onto his mouth a bit too much, so I think that made him a little bit unhappy. However, a rearing problem is not something that I am particularly interested in working with. It's not something that's fun to work through, but with time, like anything, it can be solved. Before I cantered him, I decided to trot him over the poles a little bit just to see what would happen. He was a little confused and kind of hopped over them, but he got over it in the end, and he was a very good boy. I asked for the canter, and again I think I was holding on to his mouth a little too much. I think that he has a very sensitive mouth because my reins were a bit long in my opinion, but he did not agree with me on that. So I think that finding a balance is definitely something that we would have to work on together. I went ahead and asked for the canter again, and he did pick it up this time very nicely. He was a little fast at first, but I did manage to collect him and slow him down. He did listen to my aids more in the canter, unlike Cookie, so that is a positive. However, Cookie did not have a rearing nor bucking problem. I canted him over the poles again just to see what would happen. He was very good and was taking on the poles like a boss now. I did a couple more laps cantering and then cooled him out. Okay, I just finished with Riptide. He is absolutely gorgeous, however, obviously looks don't say all about horses. He was a really good boy, however, there are a couple of things we need to work on. He wasn't the most responsive, but that's alright considering he is coming back into work. I'm not exactly looking for a quote-unquote problem horse, not that he's a problem, not that any horse is really a problem horse, but he does have a lot more issues that I don't really enjoy working with, such as bucking and rearing, as I did already go through that experience with Splash, and it was not fun. And I don't really want to go through it again, but obviously, it's not that big of a deal in the end. I think I am being a little overdramatic about it, but in the end, he was a very, very good boy, and I think that he would make a good jumper with the proper training. The next person I'm going to be trying is a little bit of the underdog of the pack. She is not exactly what I'm looking for, but I decided to give her a chance anyways. Her name is Spice, which is really cute. She is 14 3 hands and 5 years old. She is a mare and she's an American quarter horse. She is broke Western, but the ad says she has potential to go to other disciplines, which is good, as I am looking for an English horse. The reason that I decided to try her is she reminds me of my childhood pony, who was also a chestnut mare, who also wasn't exactly the, let's just say that they were very opinionated. Also both the same size as my childhood pony too, both 14.3, which obviously is quite smaller than I was looking for, but just to bring back old memories, I decided to give her a go. When I got to her, she was already tacked up, which can be a red flag in horse buying, but in this case, I am friends with the owner, and he's the one who suggested her to me. She was a little fidgety at the mounting block, but it was okay, and we got there in the end. She had a very comfy walk, which is something that I liked about her. I am riding her in Western Tack right now, as that is what she's trained in. But obviously, if I do buy her, I'm going to try and convert her into English and hopefully jump her. However, because she is not English broke, that is going to take a little bit of extra time, and I'm not sure if I'm looking for that, but we'll see how it goes. She had quite a springy trot, but it was also very comfy considering I am in a Western saddle, which I forgot how much comfier they are than English ones. Maybe I need to start riding Western more. She listened to my aids very well and was quite responsive, however, I could not try all the same aids that I usually do, as the aids in Western and English are a bit different. She's never trotted a ground pole before, however, I did decide to take him over them just to see what would happen. This also shows me their attitude to trying new things and their work ethic. She was obviously confused, but didn't really blink an eye at them and just went over them. I then asked her for a little canter, and it was very fast, as, a barrel horse's typically would be. I canted her in both directions, and she was good with her leads. After that, I cooled her out. Okay, everyone, I'm here with Spice. We just finished our ride. She was actually a very, very good girl, and it brought back so many memories of my childhood pony. I did really enjoy her, however, she doesn't exactly have the build of a jumper, and it would definitely take some extra training to convert her from Western to English. She had great work ethic, though, and was super willing to try new things, such as the ground poles. She didn't throw one buck or rear, which is definitely a positive. She was also very comfy and listened to my aids. She was very responsive, and overall I did really enjoy her. However, it might just be a little bit of extra work for her considering she is Western, and she also doesn't have the exact build of a show jumper, so there are definitely some pluses and minuses, so let me know what you guys think of her. The next horse that I'm going to be trying, I'm so excited for. His ad looks absolutely amazing, except it doesn't really give us that much information. Other than that, he seems absolutely perfect. He is 16 3 hands, 9 years old, gelding, and a trackner. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is that his ad does not give much information about him at all. So I don't really know what I'm getting into with his personality, his training, his temperament, or whatever, but at least he's up to date and has papers. When I got to him, he was already tacked up. He also took a little bit of a bathroom break a few times, so it looked like he had been standing here for a while, which I did feel quite bad about because no horse likes being tied to the ground for a long time. I'm not too sure how I feel about him right now, as he is already tacked up. It looks like he was tacked up a while ago, and his ad doesn't provide much information about him. It does give me kind of a red flag, but obviously I could just be overthinking things, and we'll see how he is when it comes to riding him. Another thing that I noticed about Conan is that he's definitely not 16.3 hands. I think that he was probably either 16 or could pass as 16.1, but definitely not as big as 16.3. One of the first things that I noticed about him is that he was very skittish and shy. He was scared of me, and that gave me the indication that maybe, I don't know for sure, but it is possible that he was abused in his last home, which I feel very sad. That does hurt my heart a lot. He seemed very timid and wasn't quite sure what I wanted from him, and seemed very scared for what I was going to ask him, which I felt very, very bad about, as I promised him I'm not going to hurt you, buddy. I asked him for a trot, and he picked up right away. He didn't have the fastest trot and was a little bit more laid back, which actually can be a good thing, but I did feel bad as he did seem very, very scared of me. Another thing about Conan is that he does not have that much muscle, which is something that we could work on. Obviously, we can also work on him being scared of humans, but he also doesn't have that much weight to him, which shows me that he isn't exactly being fed enough, which also points to the fact that he maybe doesn't exactly have the most responsible owners. This absolutely breaks my heart to see horses in this condition, and it makes me very, very sad. I want to help them all, but unfortunately I can't, as that is not something that I can afford to do. Maybe in the future I can take in some more horses that are like this and help them up. I decided to trot him over the poles, however I didn't want to do it too many times as I did not want to stress him out. He was very, very good as he trotted over them. After trotting him over the poles, I asked him for a canter. He picked it up on the wrong lead, but after making a circle and asking again, he got it. Leads are something that is very important for horses to understand, so teaching them it does take some extra time, and it's not exactly something that I'm looking for them. I do like them to know their leads so that they can stay balanced, but obviously that's not a big deal compared to some other problems, and it is something that I'm willing to put the time into. He was more forward in his canter and wasn't listening to my hands too well, but definitely more than Cookie was. I felt like he was just scared and wanted it to be over. After cantering him a little bit, I felt that he was getting a little too stressed out, so I just decided to call it a day and cool him out. Okay, I just finished writing Conan. Overall, he was very, very good. However, he does seem a bit more timid, and obviously, I don't want to say too much or overassume, but I don't think he maybe has the best home situation right now, so I really hope that he does get sold to a good home, even if it's not my home. I do think that he's a very great option for a jumper. However, he could use a little bit of extra training, as he's not the most confident boy right now, and he doesn't exactly know his lead, so that could take some extra time as well. However, he could make a great jumper one day, but just with a little bit of extra training that I wasn't exactly looking to do, but obviously all horses have their quirks. No one's going to find a perfect horse to train. That just does not exist, unfortunately. Another thing that I didn't mention is that he's also a very, very pretty horse, but obviously, again, looks aren't everything. So let me know what you guys think of him. I do think that he is a really good option. This is the next horse that I'm going to be trying. Her name is Juniper. She has 15 hands, which is obviously smaller than I'm looking for, but that's okay. She's 8 years old. She's a mare, and she's a Connemara cross. She's also an underdog, as she isn't exactly what I'm looking for size-wise and training-wise, but I'm willing to give it a go. Her owners were very, very nice and let me ask a lot of questions about her, and also allowed me to tack her up myself, which is something that I do value when trying horses. She stood perfectly while I was tacking her up and was very, very polite. I was curious about what she was crossed with, so I asked the owners, and they said that they don't really know for sure. They know that she is part Connemara, and they think that she's part Arabian and part Welsh pony, maybe even half some quarter, but they don't exactly know for sure what she is. However, that is okay, because you don't always need the perfect, most fanciest, purebred horse to do what you want to do with them. She was very fidgety at the mounting block, so I had to get on at the ground, which is not something that I'm excited about, but we can work on it. After walking her around a bit, I went ahead and asked for the posting trot. She sprang up into it and was very good. She listened to my hands and ate and was very responsive. One thing that I did notice about her in the trot, though, is that she was a bit unbalanced and very, very wiggly. Even when I kept her at the rail, she was unbalanced, and she did kind of wiggle through my hands. She's definitely the greenest horse that I've tried out of all of them today, and definitely needs a little bit more extra training on the flat before we start jumping. I tried some circles with her, and it didn't really help, it just made her even more unbalanced. Something that I did like about her, though, is that she was listening to me the whole time and waiting for what I asked her to do next. When I asked her for a canter, she hopped into it immediately and sped off. I don't want to say bolted, but she definitely took off a bit and wasn't exactly listening to me. Things just got a little bit excited, and I didn't really have much control, but after cantering around a bit, she did settle down, which is definitely something that we'll have to work on. She did pick up the right leads and everything, and has definitely had some very good trainers on her. I tried cantering her in some circles, and she was definitely a bit more balanced, but she was still very, very unsteady and wiggly. At the end of the session, I decided to trot her over some poles just to see how she'd react. She was a bit confused and didn't really know where to put her feet, but that's okay, because with some practice, she'll definitely get better at it. I decided to end it off with, I would canter her through them, and she leaped over them perfectly and handled it like a boss. I then walked her around and cooled her off. Okay everyone, I just finished my ride with Juniper. I did really enjoy it. She was very, very fun to ride. She's definitely the greenest out of all the horses I've tried today, so I do have to take that into account, that she does need a little bit of extra training before we start jumping. She was a bit wiggly, obviously, as you saw, and she doesn't exactly have the most muscle right now, so we do need to work on building that up. She doesn't exactly have the right build that I'm looking for a jumper, but that's alright. I did like her temperament. It was very, very good, and I do agree with the ad that one day she would make a great lesson pony, which is definitely a plus. I do also think that she has some great jumping potential, as she did leap over those poles very, very nicely. She also is smaller than I'm looking for, though I am looking for a little bit of a bigger horse, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of her. Okay, everyone, I just got back home from trying the horses. It was a very, very fun opportunity, and I'm very glad that I got to experience it. However, I am very, very tired, and my legs are going to be very sore tomorrow. I saw 5 amazing horses today, and I would love to absolutely take home all of them, but unfortunately I don't have the space or budget for that right now. They were all very, very great options. It's going to be definitely a tough decision for me. If you guys want to help me out, let me know in the comments below what horse you think I should buy. I think that I would be happy with all of them, as they are all great options. Let me know your guys' opinion. I'm curious to know what you guys think I should do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video very, very much. I spent the past couple hours just filming it, so know that I'm definitely going to have a fun time editing this one, so I did work very hard on it, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, feel free to help me out by subscribing or liking the video. It does help me out a lot, and like I said before, I appreciate you guys' support so, so much. Thank you so much. It does really mean a lot to me. I love making videos for you guys, so the fact that you enjoy them makes me very happy. Anyways, let me know what horse I should buy, and if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below and I will get back to you. I hope you'll have a wonderful day or night. I know that I am, because it is Saturday, so I don't have to go to school. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next video. I love you. Bye!